Chad Ikes, Courage Barbell, coming back at you. Today, we're going to talk about stretching again, but this is going to be kind of some quick stretches that you can use throughout the day. If you wake up and you're sore in the morning, you can do some of these in the shower. You can do some quick ones right when you get out of bed. If you're at work, and especially if you have a job where you sit a lot, you can stand up and do a couple of these stretches throughout the day. They're all pretty easy to do. You don't have to get on the ground. Well, I'm going to have you kneeling on some of them, but really you don't have to get on the ground. And they're going to help out tremendously if you stay consistent using them to increase your flexibility, which, as I said in the last video, is going to help ward off injuries. It's going to give you healthier muscles. It's going to help your muscles recover. It's going to allow you to have greater strength. It's going to allow you to hit your positions easier. It's going to help so you don't have to do so many of them other freaking modalities, and you'll be able to just go in and start lifting. It's going to help with your joints. It's all around. Stretching's great. It's great all around. Everyone should be doing it. I have my older clients do it. I have my young clients do it. I have my competing athletes. I have my competitive athletes doing it. My power lifters, everybody should be doing stretching and have at least some level of flexibility. We have the Golgi tendon and the muscle spindle fiber. Those are safety mechanisms in your body. You can look them up if you're really interested. It takes about 15 to 20 seconds for your body to realize that, hey, I don't need to keep these tight. I can let the muscles relax. And that's when the stretching actually starts. So I like to hold all my stretches for 30 seconds to at least 30 seconds up to a minute, more if you want to. Yeah, and that's about it. So let's get into it. The first stretch is very simple. It's basically like a toe touch. The problem I see when most people do toe touches is they just bend over and touch their toes. They pay no position. Man, I'm fucking everything up today. They pay no mind to the position that their body is in, and they have no intent. They're just bending over trying to touch their toes. That's not how you do it. That's not how you get the most out of that stretch. What you want to do is you want to stand up straight. You want to get in your neutral low back position. You want to get a little bit of a brace, and then you want to bend over in that neutral back position. I do not care if you touch your toes. I care that you are in the right position and stretching the right muscles. So I'm still trying to push my stomach into my hips, keeping that low back flat. And yes, I can touch my toes, keeping my low back flat. Most people can't do this. So if I do it from the side, I'll try to hold my shirt here. You'll see I'll get in my low back position, get a little brace. And I'm not getting a super hard brace, but as I'm going, I'm more focusing on my belly trying to go down before rounding my shoulders over. And right now I'm hinging back a little bit, trying to keep that low back flat. Well, I'm trying to keep an arch, but it's going to be because of my gut and the size of my thighs. It gets to the point where it's kind of hard. And like even right here, I'm not feeling much of a stretch. So I keep going until I feel that stretch. The whole time trying to push that belly down to the floor. Now, I do like to do this stretch two ways. If you watched my straight leg deadlift video, there's times where I'll do it where I'll hinge back, and there's times where I'll do it where I bend forward. And I like to do the same thing on this stretch. So the stretch you just saw, I'm really hinging my butt back like this. So that's one way to do the stretch. And the other way to do the stretch, both of them are keeping this neutral back. The other way is to actually bend forward where I'm coming up here. I'm still trying to keep that low back flat and pushing it to the ground. But you'll see I'm coming out here instead of being back here like this. And that just gives me a little bit different stretch. This one stretches more my calves, and I feel a little different area in my hamstrings. So these are both good stretches though. The next stretch, the very same thing, but we're going to do it in a wide stance. So I'm going to come out here, root my feet up, neutral back, and again, I'm going to hinge my butt back, trying to push this belly to the floor, trying to keep that low back arch, focusing more on the arch and getting the belly to the floor than trying to reach the floor. And then again, I can do this sitting back, or I can do it where I come way forward on it. So I'll do that one from the side too. Really trying to push that, keep that low back arch, keep that low back arch. I'm gonna go a little wider, low back arch. So that's the hinge back. And then if I'm coming forward on it. So those ones are both very simple. You can do the same thing. You can do the leg crossover. Again, the biggest thing is trying to keep the arch. The goal isn't, hey, I'm trying to do whatever I can do to reach my toes. That's not the goal. The goal is keeping in the correct position and get as far as you can with that stretch. Because we're doing this, most of the people watching this are going to be doing this for powerlifting, or even if you're doing it for sports. How often in sports are you like this? Like even if you're a linebacker, you're going to be like this. So we want to mimic that same strong position. I've seen guys that can touch their toes all rounded over, but you put them in a parallel squat and they can't keep their neutral back arch because they're way too damn tight. So of what use was stretching if they can touch their toes if it's not helping them get into positions that they need? Okay, then the next stretch I like to do, we're going to stretch out here. We're going to come down on this knee. Then we're going to come forward, trying to keep the body up, keeping that neutral low back, and we're going to stretch this hip flexor out. And then we can switch that up, come to the other one right here, come forward and stretch that hip flexor out. Next one. That's a good easy one, really good for the hip flexors. We're going to get in a wide stance. We're going to come over right here, and again, I'm still trying to hold that neutral low back. And this is going to be a great stretch for that adductor. And then we're going to come over, switch over to here, stretching that adductor. These are really easy stretches. A lot of these are very standard stretches. The biggest thing with the hip flexor stretch, you'll see a lot of people bend over. I want you to stay up straight, so we're stretching the hip flexor. The adductor one, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can do a regular calf stretch up against a wall or something. I'll use this. Stretching out here, driving the hip down into the corner of the wall. And that's a good stretch. And the one a lot of people miss, that stretches your gastrocnemius, your calf muscle. But if you come in here like this and you stretch down here, this is actually going to stretch the soleus, which is down here underneath the gastroc. And a lot of people miss stretching that one out. Then the next one we're going to do, you're going to sit down in your chair, a box if you're at the gym. And I want you to get in kind of a wide squat position. And again, find that neutral back arch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our elbows on the knees and push the knees out while we're bending forward. So I'm going to come in here And you can see, I'm trying to keep that neutral back and bend forward like I'm doing a seated good morning. And then I'm gonna push these knees out and keep bending forward, trying to drop that belly down to the floor. And you're gonna get a huge stretch here in your groin. And again, 30 seconds to a minute. You can do a couple of these in a row. You can hold them for a couple minutes if you want. Whatever, just you have to go at least 30 seconds to do anything really. really. And the longer you hold it, the more you're going to get out of it. You can overstretch. Like this isn't, don't think about this like trying to squat 1,000 pounds. You want to feel the stretch and you want it to be uncomfortable. But the fact of the matter is it's going to take a certain amount of time to build your flexibility. So don't try to rush it. If you rush it, you're just going to overstretch and you might tear something, you might strain something. So just go to where it's uncomfortable and hold it. As it eases up, take it a little further. Each time you do the stretch, try to go a little further than you did before, if you feel it. Now, one of my other absolute favorite stretches is this is a great glute stretch. You're going to put one knee on the other leg, again, neutral. I'm in that neutral back position, and I'm just going to bend forward. And if you watched the last video I did, which had stretching on the floor, the glute is such a wide muscle and has such a big attachment or insertion, one or the other, that we want to move around to kind of stretch the whole muscle. So I'll bend straight forward. Then I'll come towards this foot a little bit, the whole time trying to keep that neutral position. And then I'll come over here and I'll try to go towards the knee. And of course, we do that on both sides. So you're gonna come up here, we're gonna go forward, go towards the foot, holding each one of these for like 30 seconds to a minute. And then come over here a little bit. And you're gonna, man, that's a great stretch for your glutes. This next stretch is very similar to the one I just showed you seating, only it's in a standing position. And I'm gonna use my glute ham raise right here. So I'm gonna come up here. Gotta fly. Come up and put my leg right here. And then I'm gonna sit down on it. And again, I'll go to the knee a little bit. I'll go straight. I'll go to the foot. Just finding those positions. The thing is finding a desk or a counter or something of the correct height for you. So I can even do it on this bar stool where I'll come in here and I'm pretty flexible. So this is kind of low for me, but I can still come in here and sit down on it, go straight, go to the knee, go to the foot, and just feel that glute stretching out. Okay, then we're going to have the quad stretch, which I prefer to do on the ground just because it's easier to focus on it and you don't have to worry about balancing or anything. Just have something you can hold on to, a wall, a door jamb, a piece of furniture maybe. And you're going to grab the ankle and then just pull the heel to the butt for a little bit and let the thigh stretch. Then you're going to pull it back and get that hip flexor stretching and the thigh. Then we'll do that on the other leg. Stretch the quad, stretch the hip flexor. And honestly, that right there is a few simple stretches. They're great to do throughout the day. Back when I had a forklift job, I'd hop off the forklift after unloading a truck or something, and I'd do a couple of those stretches really quick, take a couple minutes, nobody ever really said much about it, and then move on to my next stuff. Help keep your back healthy, helps kind of reverse all the poor posturing we get into throughout the day, being on our phones or being on our computer. But remember, posture is hugely important. And that's all part of being flexible. If I'm like this all day long and I'm hunched over, it's going to take that much more stretching to open all this up and get this up. So the more we have good posture throughout the day, the better that's going to help us in gaining more flexibility, which helps us with strength, safety, and blah, 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 everything else on top of that. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. Another good stretching video. Remember, 30 seconds to a minute. These stretches do multiple times throughout the day. Remember, it takes time to get flexible, so don't rush it. And remember when you first start and you're like, hey, this sucks to stretch every day, yada, yada, yada. But once I get it done and I get flexible, it's going to be easy to maintain it, and it's not going to take so much time stretching. So just have the discipline to gain the flexibility, and your reward is that you'll be able to maintain that flexibility much easier. And the spiel. Please go to CourageBarbell.com, pick up a t-shirt, a pair of shorts, pick up a hat, some stickers, a water bottle, whatever. Every little bit helps. Even a couple dollars for a sticker helps us out a little bit. Please go to my Instagram, Chad Ikes, and like that. Please share this YouTube channel. I got to figure out how to make this thing grow a little faster. Not my forte, but I'm working on it. So please subscribe, please like the channel, please share the channel. If you train with other guys, send them to the channel, have them check some of this shit out. And if you have any buddies that you know, athletes, power lifters, anybody who trains with weights is going to gain some knowledge from this channel. And I got lots and lots of stuff to share as time goes on. But that's enough of that BS. I'm out of here. Hope you guys are doing great. Please comment below if you want me to make more videos. I always try to listen to you guys and fit them in when I can. And the comments help out. The likes help out. Hitting the alert button helps out. All that stuff. I'm out of here. I will see you guys next time.